Blessed morning and many thanks for choosing us. This is Good Morning Africa here on Pan-African Television. We are live from our studios 48 Swanika Street, Abilimpi, Accra. In 46 other African countries, we are watched via satellite, some parts of South America and Europe as well. My name is AGYEKUM and it's God's morning, beautiful morning. I'm here with the one, the only.
My name is Kokwalon. It's always a pleasure to come your way with Good Morning Africa. And of course, on today's edition, we're looking at some newspapers and see the stories that are trending. A tad later, we're bringing you an interview with the Trade Union Congress and have conversations about the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT for that matter, and all of it, I should say, concomitant issues. Issues in relation to the sale of some 60%, stake in hotels, and then we shall be looking at the general welfare of workers who are under SNIT. And so this and more we'll be having on the newspaper headline segment of the show. Later on, Elvis Bota of the New Patriotic Party makes a return to the newspaper review segment of Good Morning Africa, and so is Nanaya Sapong of the Movement for Change. The National Democratic Congress would be represented by the lawmaker for Tamale Central, Honorable Murtala Mohammed. So it's going to be a packed show as usual, and would want you to stay with us every step of the way. Let's look at today's papers. Right,
today our papers are quite limited, but we have some interesting stories here. I start with the Inside newspaper. On the front page, boldly captured, state capture Blakwa Lands Ministry trade blows over sale of state lands. Also, over 100,000 youth get indirect jobs under my administration. But recently, the Ghana Statistical Service came out with findings from this year's housing survey that is done, the household income economic survey, and it turns out that 1.2 million young people have no relation with education, training, or employment. And also, half of that number, the greater sect of that population, happen to be women. And the greater sect across the country happen to be in the Greater Accra region. So I really find it mind-boggling to see stories like these, that the president touts his, achievements in his administration, saying that 100,000 young people get indirect jobs. What do we even mean by indirect jobs?
Well,
what do we mean by indirect jobs?
Well, interesting, very, very interesting there. So I think that indirect jobs are jobs that are created as a result of a particular, initiative. So let's say, for instance, you set up a business here at Pan-African TV, or let's say you have this establishment, Pan-African Television. You have a workforce of around, let's say, 200 people working here at Pan-Africa TV. Now, the direct job is that these 200 people are employed. Some will be working in the MCR, some will be working in the newsroom, some will be taking care of other stuff. But the indirect job is the fact that, look, these 200 people ought to eat. So the Kusiani Meko seller would come here and then sell Kusiani Meko. The restaurants around, you understand? So indirectly
he has created,
yes. So
but I don't think that should be some sort of achievement or something that he should tout about. What are the direct jobs that are given to young people? Because looking at these statistics, 1.2 million. 1.2 million. That's a huge number.
I mean, some of the figures that this government throws around, for me, it's mind-boggling. For instance, this government tells me that they've done over 10,000 kilometers of road. And like yesterday I was saying, 10,000 kilometers of road is about moving from Accra to Tamale 15 times. 15 times. So if we have this long stretch of roads across the country, why are we not seeing them? Why are we not seeing them?
Yesterday I had a call from my friend in Kumasi. And I haven't been to Kumasi in a long time. And the person was saying that Why? Are there no MPs and, you know, is the government not... Are they oblivious to what goes on in Kumasi, or there's no leadership whatsoever? Because the roads are terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible wherever you go, especially the inner lanes, the inter vicinity lanes, very, very terrible. And the government has you know, added that in praising themselves for constructing such quantity of roads.
Well, interesting.
I don't know if we are being lied to, or we are being, you know, just played with. I don't know what to classify that as.
Well, I think I'll hold my horses in terms of, like, I mean, when it comes to speaking about the failures of this administration, I feel like the Ghanaian people know better. And so, yeah, December 7 is coming. And I think that based on what they've seen over the last 7 years, 7 to 8 years, it's what I mean, that would inform the decision on whom to vote for. So, just like myself, just like yourself, I'm sure you'd be voting.
Yeah, for the first.
I mean, for the first, you have to. You get her.
I'll vote.
Right.
I'll vote. All right, let me finally land with how Cameroon's 91-year-old Paul Biya plans to stay in power. Osustu condemns fraudulent declaration of Michael Norte-Okwe as acting Mancheng. Here are stories on today's edition of the Inside newspaper. You can grab a copy for just 4 Ghana cedis at any newsstand, or you can log on to the insidenewsonline.com for more stories.
Right, let's do the Daily Guide newspaper. It says ex-tour boss extradited to the United States for bribery. GRA on course to achieving 146 billion Ghana cedis tax target. Lands Ministry exposes a black hole over sale of state lands, and SC defers decision on anti-LGBTQ bill injunction. VIP comments IGP for police transformation, and finally, Prof Yanka takes on Sami Jemfi. There you have it for the Daily Guide. I think you should take the daily graphic.
All right, let's do the daily graphic. Thank you, Bless. Let's do the daily graphic. It says Tertiary Business Schools Challenge launched. Also, YEA empowers 600,000, again, figures. 600,000 Ghanaians. President Akufo-Addo commends agency. President nominates 2 to Supreme Court. GRA exceeds mid-year targets by 138.69 million Ghana cedis. Today's edition of the Daily Graphic.
So that's all. Like you said, today's paper is very, very limited. Yeah, I just had 3 of them. But yeah, of course, as long as they've come, we just have to do what we're supposed to do. That's the whole
essence of the show.
So coming up, we have an interview with the Trade Union Congress. We shall be looking at labor and their conditions of service. Earlier, I think a few days ago, they are taking the decision to embark on an industrial action. What were they protesting against? The sale of some 60% shares in hotels belonging to SNIT. Well, we know that that mission has been aborted, but of course, Labour is saying that their demands go beyond the SNIT hotels. They are also looking at their conditions of service. We shall be having this conversation shortly on the newspaper headline segment of the show. Do stay. Let me go and see if they are here. If they are not in, Charlie.
Stay refreshed with Malt. Prepare for hydration.